Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this pick a card reading. This one's going to be focused on self-care. Any messages that you need to know regarding your self-esteem, self-worth, anything that you need to hear in order to take better care of yourself. We have 3 different cards to choose from, and depending on which card you choose, will depend what messages you get, right? I'll leave the timestamps down below. The first card will be the word of priorities. All right, the second card will be the word of truth, and the third card will be the word of reassess. All right, you need to take a minute to pause the video in order to choose your card. You can go ahead and do so, otherwise I'll see you in your reading. All right, pile 1, you have the word of priorities, which is pretty straightforward. We're going to read the message. The quality of your life is determined by how you spend your time. Make sure your schedule reflects the life you want. I wanted to read it as you schedule in the life that you want, which is interesting. So are you scheduling in? Are you making time? Are you making the life that you're trying to manifest a priority? That's the question of the day. That's the question of the reading here. What could be blocking them from creating a better quality of life, from them focusing on their priorities? Ooh, okay, hold on a minute. We have the 8th house, transformation, karma, facing fears and legacies. The 8th house, along with the 12th house, more the 12th house than the 8th house, but the 8th house definitely has a level of mystery to it. The 8th house is our intimate space. That's the spot that has our secrets. That's the spot that has like it says here, facing fears, our fears that we don't want to admit, our vulnerabilities, so to speak. The 8th house is where all of our debt, especially karmic debt, lies. So I want to say that the block here for you might be your ability to admit it, right? To admit that you are not really focusing on your priorities, or to admit that you might need help in time management or taking care of yourself. But there's also a possible issue here of, well, because here's the thing with the 8th house, and I'm really picking up on this right now, like having this shared issues, because the 8th house also, that's where because it's where your debt lies, right? This is literally where you have like credit card debt or inheritance, or if you're in a marriage, that's where your shared money is. So there could be a problem there. But I think that it's almost like the cards are saying it's now or never. Like this is the time. It's as serious as death itself. Like it needs to be made a priority, or your priorities need to be made a priority. Okay, you need to be able to, again, schedule the life that you want. Schedule it in. Like if it's not reflecting what you're trying to create and what you want out of life, then you cannot make it a priority. That doesn't mean to say that it doesn't need to be in your schedule or that it can't be in your schedule. But it does mean that it can't be at the top of your list. You have to stop putting things on pedestals that don't belong there. I think that that's the major message there for sure. All right. What else do they need to know? Okay. Man, I've got all these decks upside down. All right, hold on. The Chariot. I don't really do reversals anymore, unless I feel like it needs to be in the reverse. 8 of Cups, Magician, 9 of Cups. All right, bottom of the deck, Mother of Swords, which is interesting because when I pre-shuffled the deck, the other deck, the vice versa deck, Queen of Swords is on the bottom of that deck too. So there's definitely a heavy Queen of Swords energy. So you're being asked to be the Queen of Swords. All right, you're being asked to be decisive, to be clear, to have that clear voice, to have that clear intention. When you look at an owl, owls are so majestic, right? Like they have this aura about them. They have this presence about them. They're extremely beautiful creatures. And there's this hidden wisdom that they represent. So making wise decisions, making wise choices is a focus right now. You have the Chariot coming out first, knowing what direction you're moving in, making sure that the direction, again, this is the same message that we already said, the direction that you're heading in life is what you want. Knowing that you have full control and full power over that direction. Wheel of Fortune. You've got 3 major arcana cards, first of all. The Chariot, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Magician. So the fact that the Wheel of Fortune is also here, again, the owl, again, it's letting you know that, like, it's time to change. I don't know if you're currently going through ups and downs or if you've recently gone through ups and downs, but it's almost like not making your manifested dream a priority and coming up with excuses as to why you shouldn't needs to change. Because it's almost like it doesn't matter if your life is up or if it's down. There's always some reason why you can't start today, right? There's never the perfect time. It's never a good time, right? We make it a good time. And I think that that's why the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune are right next to each other. You've got this 9 of Wands, like self-care, as far as, again, making the priority of the quality of life that you want. The fact that you haven't made it a priority has left you pretty tired, has left you pretty exhausted. This could literally physically be exhausted. You know, you come home and you're tired and you can't even, like, you don't even have enough energy to take a shower. But there's also spiritual exhaustion here that I'm feeling strongly from this card. There it is again, reaching that dream. Maybe like the fact that you have to take so many steps or you've had to do so many things to get to that dream that you're trying to create and manifest has felt exhausting. Now you got this 8 of Cups. You know, creating a quality of life that's superior to the previous, I feel like the experience itself is what we're deciding to let go of here today, okay? You need to emotionally detach of the experience that you've already had. And you need to decide emotionally that you have to let go of some things and throw them out because they need to belong in the trash. If you can't throw them out in the trash, then you can donate them. You know what I mean? You don't have to throw them out if you don't want to. You can just donate it to something else. But the point is that these empty cups are useless, right? I mean, they're broken, they're empty. There's nothing for you there. The Magician, you have the resources, you have the tools, you have everything that you need to change up your schedule, to make that, again, penciling in, looking at those priorities, changing those priorities, because it is a part of your self-care. You've got a busy schedule, right? But you know that you have, even if you have a busy schedule, you know that you usually have Friday nights where you do, I don't know, like say you have 2 days of the week where you usually do laundry. Is there any way that you can cut it down to just 1 day? I know that sounds like crazy, but just do laundry on 1 day a week. Then you have that other day and freeing that up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like just moving some stuff around is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be that example, but moving some stuff around. That's your resource. Again, because the importance here is the quality of life has lowered your ability to take care of yourself. The 9 of Cups. I love that this is here because it's a funny card. It's a card about satisfaction. Are you satisfied? When you look around in your life, are you truly emotionally, and it's the Cups, right? Are you emotionally satisfied? Can you comfortably and fully say that you are satisfied in your life? Because if you can't, then there lies the problem. Let's clarify this Chariot. What direction do they need to move in order to increase the quality of their life? What direction do they need to move in? Thank you. That's so funny. The future. Your bright future. The direction, it's funny because it's wands, right? So the direction is a more passionate, a more driven, a more inviting, a more inspiring, a more powerful direction. Really is the case there. But the other key here is that the direction that you're also moving in is the direction that you've already manifested, the direction that you've already created. Like you've already made up your mind, right? You've already decided this is what you want to do and this is where you want to go. This Wheel of Fortune. What's changing? What's changing for them? Ooh. Is that the Queen of Swords again? Oh, it's the King of Swords. That's funny. So actually, I'll take that because it's almost like what's changed is that there's now a more divine masculine approach to it. So the divine masculine within you is taking more control, taking more action, doing more thinking, right? But the King of Swords uses intellect and intelligence. And he uses the power of words, the power of communication. So that's what's changing. Also, I feel like because it's the Queen and King of Swords, there's also potentially some helpful people. Nine of Wands. Yeah, the fight. The fight. The struggle. The struggle to ascend. The struggle to get to that dream. Eight of Cups. What are they emotionally detaching from? What are they emotionally detaching from? The cards are being funny today. Let me tell you. What fell on the ground is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is clarifying the Eight of Cups. It's almost like they know. It's everything that I already said. All right. What's a good resource that they can use? Your emotions. Your emotional body. That's funny that that's coming too. Also possibly a Cancer in your life if you know a Cancer. Or Cancer season itself. Maybe that's a good timeline for you to plan this out. Like say by Cancer season, you know that you're going to have a better understanding of your priorities. But another good tool that she can represent here is the power of comfort. It's a very simple thing, right? The power of simplicity and comfort. What do they know that will make them more satisfied with their quality of life? What do they know can create more satisfaction in their life? That's interesting. Ten of Swords. No more self-blame, right? No more self-doubt. No more fear. Going back to that 8th house. And also letting go of death. I mean, that's the second time of death. If it's done, it's done. There's no need to... What's the word that I'm thinking of? There's no need to, Wow, hold on. Sorry, but come on. Come on. Revisit is the word I was thinking of. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Look at this. Death card with strength. And this version of strength, the strength is facing the devil. And the death card is there. Usually if it's this side of this death card for me, I've had this deck for a very long time. If it's this side for me, I know that there's a second chance. When it's this side, it's done. And I just said that. It's over. So you know what's going to make you satisfied is just accepting that and moving on. Like really just moving on from something. Because it's no longer a priority. And having the strength to do it. The strength to face that devil. So the fact that it's the devil, it might feel something like it's unhealthy, toxic, right? Bad habits, bad routines. Trust me, I know. I'm there. I'm with you. We all do it. We all have bad habits. Some are more extreme than others, but we all have bad habits. Okay. Thank you. Never ending story is your last bit of advice here. Again, I want to go back to, there's always an excuse. There's always a reason why we can't start. That's the fear itself. To face the fear of saying, this never-ending story is going to end. Me not making what I want out of life, the quality of my life high, and setting my standards high, this is going to end. All right? I hope this helped. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Group number 2, you chose the word of truth. Truth is different at different levels of consciousness. Reserve judgment. Yeah, right. I mean, that's probably... that's a truthful statement in and of itself. Your truth today was not the same thing as your truth 10 years ago. And I feel like this truth at different levels makes more sense on a subjective level, right? Obviously, it's also truthful on an objective level, but really what we're talking about here is subjective truth. So when we're on different levels of consciousness, again, makes sense that we will have different levels of truth. So I love that it says reserve judgment. Reserve judgment. And this is not just towards yourself, but towards other people and other people towards you. This is kind of interesting for this to come up as what you need more to take care of yourself better. I feel like the message is follow your subjective truth and understand, again, that your truth now was not the same as it was 10 years ago, and it's probably not going to be the same as it is 10 years from now. might not even be the same tomorrow. You know what I mean? So truth, honesty, integrity. That's what you need in order to help on your self-care journey. So what could be blocking truth for the second group that's watching? Interesting. The sun. Whoa. You're blocking yourself. Here's the thing. Your authenticity, your ability to present yourself as you, like your ability to show the world, this is me. Accept me because I accept myself. It's self-acceptance. The truth of self-acceptance. Being able to I really, for some reason, I'm just feeling this very strongly, and I rarely get specific messages, but someone is in the LGBTQ community and is having a hard time coming out. Listen, your coming out is very special, right? It's always been special for all of us in the community. So it's whenever you feel comfortable. If it's not that, it's something as special as that for whoever's watching. But for everyone watching, it doesn't matter. The point is your identity, how you identify yourself. When someone says, hey, group number 2, who are you? What do we usually say? Actually, there's been a few psychological experiments done on this, social experiments too, where usually when someone says, who are you? The first thing they say is their name. The second thing they say is what kind of important figure they might be in their family. So if they're a mother, they say, I'm a mother, right? The third thing they usually say is their career, where they work. They don't say things that are more intimate, that are more transparent, that are more deeper, which I think is kind of a message here for you, number 2. Group number 2. I don't want to just say number 2. It sounds like I'm talking about poop. It's something special, something deep within you, a deep version of yourself that you need to accept and expect. It's funny because I wanted to say expect. Like expect others to know you, to know that true version of yourself. And then reserve judgment. Reserve judgment. I think also you being able to put yourself out there, being a little bit more extroverted, let's say it that way, might help in your self-care routine. I know that sounds weird, but it might. It's almost like you want a social life, but you don't want to go through the process, maybe because of social anxiety or whatever. I understand, of like finding friends and like having a social life. That's one example. Okay. All right. But that's the second time also it says on the card to embody truth. So it's funny how truth came out as a block to truth. Group number 2. Temperance, 2 of Wands, Ace of Cups, self-love and self-worth. That's 2 cards of self-worth. 2 of Cups, interesting. And then 4 of Pentacles. You're holding back. Yeah, that's okay. What is it that you're holding back? When I pre-shuffle the deck for you, the Ace of Cups is there twice. And underneath that is the Emperor with his back turned. You're holding back emotions. So are you holding back what you want to say? Are you holding back your voice? How you feel? That's what it is. You're holding back how you feel. I know that if I look at this quickly, I would think, okay, this is about a relationship. But I feel honestly like it's the relationship about you and the man in the mirror. Which I'm not surprised. I mean, this is a self-care reading. But how you treat yourself reflects onto how you treat other people and vice versa, right? How other people treat you reflects on how you treat yourself. So there is a connection there. But you're holding back on a truth that, like, you're on the fence about something. You're indecisive about something and you're on the fence about it. Partly because of trust issues or abandonment issues. But you are going through massive healing, so I know that you're aware of all this. That's the thing. The levels of consciousness, you're on a different levels of consciousness. So you're working on releasing, you're working on letting go of the grip that you have, that you're holding tightly onto. What is the truth? Literally the truth. Ace of Swords is underneath that. And then Judgment. You see how this is the same energy? Don't hold on to your truth. That's your truth. Say it. You remember in the 90s and in the early 2000s, we used to say it, don't spray it. I don't know why that just came up. I'm sorry. I'm in a goofy mood. Can't help it. Temperance. What is it that they're healing besides truth? Because that's clear. They're healing their own subjective truth and their own self-embodiment and self-expression. But is there anything else that needs to come out? Seven of Wands. Boundaries. That's beautiful. You're also healing boundaries. You're healing staying above the drama. So maybe like an example would be at work, right? Normally you would join in on the gossiping or the shaming or the, all the bullshit that happens at work, because for some reason when people get together, they turn into really bad people. Anyway, that you're healing that. Two of Wands. What are they on the fence about? What is it that they could possibly be on the fence about, that they need to get off the fence about? Oh, there's the Emperor, but this time he's got his face. Choice, control, and power. Authority. Now, the Emperor could sometimes literally indicate powers of authority, all right? Big groups of people, corporate companies, a bank, a school, some kind of institution. So maybe making a decision on that. But I feel like it's your own power and your own authority. Ace of Cups. Self-love and self-worth. What do they need to know about that? Lovers. Literally love. Making decisions with love. Making decisions from your heart space. Choosing your heart. That's the truth. What is the truth in your heart? That's why the sun is out too. Five of Pentacles. What can help them through these abandonment feelings? These feelings of isolation. Being singled out, being ostracized. The sun. Literally the sun again. So freedom and innocence, I know I always say it, I feel like a broken record when the sun comes out, but the child indicating innocence, the white horse indicating freedom, the sun indicating the self. So again, same thing. Three of Wands. What could be, I didn't even talk about this Three of Wands. What's the portal to the future? What's the portal to their future? What's this bright future that they're manifesting? Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. Something that's going to make you really satisfied. And look at what's underneath that. Six of Swords. Moving on. Two of Cups. I don't even know what to ask about this, because it's really just about the relationship to self. Oh my goodness. I look down and it's the Two of Cups. That's funny. I know you can't see me, but I'm not looking at the cards when I'm doing it. Yep, Nine of Swords, and we have it in the way that we could see that shadow. Here you can't. Here you can. You can see this shadow of the same man. I think it's, again, the relationship of other levels of consciousness that you've experienced. That's why the Hermit's on the bottom. Yeah, thank you. See, here's the Hermit. This side, you see all the tattered clothing, all the trials, the tribulations, the conflict, the struggle that he's had to go through to get that golden egg of knowledge. Last bits of advice for group 2. Last bits of advice. That's the one. Milk and honey. What did I say about simplicity? So there's a couple messages here. Simple pleasures, simple schedules, simple truth, simple whatever. Simple. Okay? Simple, happy, go lucky energy. Also, if you want to eat that cookie, okay? That one cookie is not going to make a difference if you lose 10 pounds. I promise you, it's not. Don't starve yourself. I don't know. I feel like there's someone who's been body shamed or just going through some body issues. Maybe it's an issue of like what you can and can't eat. I mean, if the doctor's like you should probably not do it, don't do it. But you know what I mean. The second message there. Oh, I forgot. There's 2 messages. What was the other message? Oh no, spirit guides. What was the other message? Hold on. Right, duh. That 9 of Cups. I had to talk. I know a whole conversation with my guides because my memory's shit. Speaking of taking care of yourself, I did too many drugs in my life. Okay, do not turn down a wish fulfillment. Okay, because it's a blessing. There's definitely a rainbow, literally a rainbow. But by the way, rainbows and elephants. Look for those. Those are your signs. There's something coming in. That wish fulfillment with that 3 of Wands, and then the milk and honey coming out last, like to say like you're almost there, you deserve it, and that's the truth. Oof, I love that. Hopefully that helped. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, group 3, you chose the word of reassess. You have the right to change your mind. I don't know why we do this as people, but when we change our mind, we immediately feel guilty. And that's that can happen with changing our mind for something positive or something negative. You know what I mean? What I mean to say is like if we want to say yes to something, if we want to say no to something, it doesn't matter. When we change our mind, we feel guilty immediately. It might be a little bit, might be a lot of it, but the point is we feel guilty. So what your guidance is, don't feel guilty about changing your mind. If you are reassessing something, it's okay. That's what's a part of your self-care right now. That's what you need to know to help your self-esteem, to help your confidence, is that it's okay to change your mind. Group 3, what are you reassessing? All right, what's the block? What's blocking them in feeling like they have the right to change their mind? It's actually this top one. 11th house. That's curious. So friends would be the first thing I would say. Yeah, look, that's what it says. Friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. But also the 11th house, because it's the 5th and the 11th house axis, right? This is where we feel the creative power to manifest that future, that dream. So it could be a vision of yours, a dream of yours. It could be like you've been wanting to buy that cottage on that 5-acre land, and you know the right house, the perfect house, that's what you want. And then as the days go by, for some reason, even though you've been planning this out for 5 years, you realize, I don't really want to buy that house. And then you're like, oof, but I did all this work to try to get this house. Now I don't even want it. It's okay. It's also okay to have a different mindset, to have different beliefs, to have different viewpoints as your friends, as your community, as your coworkers, because that's the 11th house. All right? If you have a different mindset than your classmates, whatever. Especially if it's something like you have subordinates, right, at work, like you are a leader of some sort, and then those beneath you have different viewpoints, and they all like get together and they all agree on it, but you as the boss don't. It almost makes you, even more singled out because people already have this weird thing about hanging out with their boss or talking to their boss, right? And even though you're genuinely a good person, the people beneath you are like, That's another example. Okay? You have the right to change your mind. You have the right to not do what your friends are doing too. If your friends like to go out and party and you don't go out and party. It's that simple. When you guys are doing something different, cool, great, call me up. If your friends like to go thrift shopping and you don't have to. Right? If you like to go thrift shopping and they don't, that's okay. Go thrift shopping by yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? All right. This card first, or this deck first. It's funny that I say go do that by yourself, and when I pre-shuffled this deck for you, the 9 of Pentacles is there, and it's the 4 of Cups with the ship that's already left. It's literally the card of being independent. Independent thinking, independent decision-making, independent action. It's very Aquarian thinking, right? You don't have to follow the crowd. You don't have to conform. Magician. Father of Swords. Eight of Swords, Page of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, and then the Six of Pentacles. Reciprocity. Yeah, okay. Reciprocity. Man, I can't. My brain. Reciprocity. There is progression. 6 to the 7, but an 8, but it's the 8 of Swords. What's on the bottom of the deck? The 3 of Wands. What did I say? Your future. That's 11th house. Wherever you look in your 11th house, you could see what could be helpful or what could be harmful to whatever it is you want to manifest in your place in the world. So here it is, the place in the world. That's what you're trying to get to. That's the portal, right? That's the portal that you're trying to open up there. And then reciprocity is here. So equal give and take. What are you giving? What are you receiving? And vice versa to those people. There's people. There's a lot of people. You feel limited for some reason. Maybe it's limited. Or maybe you don't like that certain people in your life have limited belief systems. I don't know. But there's definitely something here about forgiveness, being kind, putting yourself in their shoes, and then putting themselves in your shoes. And that's how you work through it. Just knowing that you're two different people or groups of people with two different beliefs, two different opinions, two different wants, desires, needs, okay? That doesn't mean that you're wrong or they're wrong, because that's all subjective anyway. There are obviously fine lines and things, and there are things that we can all agree are wrong, but you get what I'm saying. There's, well, you know what, let's see what this magician is about, because I'd really like to know what the heck is this magician about. Oh, okay, the Chariot. And the 8 of Wands. Don't force communication. Let communication happen in a flowing manner. And don't let people force communication onto you. This is really interesting and very specific, but communication, the act of talking and listening, right, needs to be mutual, needs to be coherent, needs to be reciprocal. That's the word. Reciprocity and reassessing is the words of your reading. Father of Swords is strength. Now, excuse me, temperance. I said strength. Temperance. Again, I'm really getting strength from that card. I know it's not, but I'm really getting strength from that card. Of just forcing the idea. This is the Father of Swords, so it's the King of Swords, right? So, very intellectual, very intelligent, knows how to make those decisions. The power of words, the power of communication. So again, we're healing that, so that's beautiful. I like that you're healing it, but don't turn your back on how you're thinking, right? Like, don't turn your back on yourself. If you change your mind, you change your mind. 8 of Swords. What are they feeling limited in? Again, I feel like this is like the guilt or the shame of changing your mind. Yeah, you've closed your back. There's a lot of backs turned already. I use this deck as a very directional deck, so when I see so many backs turned, it makes me wonder if people literally have turned their backs on you or you've turned your back on other people. So obviously the Daughter of Cups I feel like is there for forgiveness or some kind of level of understanding emotionally. There's that 9 of Pentacles again. Forgiving yourself, first of all. Have you changed your mind on a new beginning? Did you maybe take action? The fact that it's King of Wands, are you feeling like you've emotionally, impulsively made a decision? Like you jumped the gun on something. You decided too quickly that you wanted to do it, and now you're taking it back. And now you're having to forgive yourself. Also, your independence shouldn't be a question of like that should not be something that needs to be taken away or questioned. I mean, yeah. Seven of Pentacles. Because you're really contemplating. So, here's the thing. The Seven of Cups and the Ten of Swords have come up to clarify that contemplation. I don't know what happened. I think the camera went down a little bit. Maybe during eclipse season coming up, you'll get... I know this is meant to be timeless, but that's 2 cards for eclipse for me. But eclipses are massive changes, right? So you're contemplating about a big change. You don't want to... Because there's also heavy shame. Why are you so ashamed? Because you had a lot of... It's almost like you had either a lot of choices and you made one and you're like, no, I wanted to make the other one. Or you had to make quick decisions, which is why that King of Swords is there. You had to make a decision quickly and you chose the wrong one. Or you were just bombarded with stuff. Life. 6 of Pentacles. What can help them in their reciprocity? I think you might also be ashamed or feel like you'll be ashamed if you end something quick. There's nothing wrong. It's almost like when you go on a date with someone, right? I know someone watching right now has been through it, okay? Like you go on a date and then everything goes great on the first date and you're like, you know what, this might actually be something one day or it might work out. Let's go on a second date. And then the second date is like totally fucking different. And the person's like completely fucking different and they talk different and they think different and they act different and you're like, whoa, this is not... Freeze, stop, cut. You know, and it's like, never mind. That kind of. And then you're like, ooh, maybe I should have let that person down easily. Why? It was one date. You know what I mean? Why? Why do you feel like you have to put so much pressure on yourself? You're putting so much pressure on yourself. And you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to. Do what you want. I love the tarot, man. The Ace of Wands is coming up for that 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, look, both sides, I feel like. But definitely that side. It's like, just do what you want, man. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Who gives a shit if it starts an argument with someone else? It makes you happy. That's what counts. It makes you happy. I'm not saying go treat people like crap. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. You know, be, compassionate. That Page of Cups. Be forgiving. Be kind. But, like, you also don't have to... Like, I don't know why people expect... No, you don't have to explain yourself. Why? It's what you wanted to do. That's it. That's the only explanation you need to give. Take this advice from an Aries, okay? best best advice in the world. Just do whatever the hell you want. Anyway, last bits of advice, please. Thank you. I dropped it on the deck, on the ground, of course. Oh, leg up. I wanted to look on the bottom, and leg up is there, so use the help that you can get. Right? If there's someone that can help you spiritually too, right? Oh my God, I said spiritually too, and this is the card that fell upside down on the ground. Higher power. Yeah, because whatever this is obviously spiritual. You got Temperance, you got Chariot, you got the Ace of Wands, so it feels spiritual. It feels like it's spiritually in alignment. Or maybe you're doing something like you changed your mind. I'm just going to say one last thing. Because sometimes in the spiritual community, when there's toxic spirituality, right? Where it's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's bad. That's not spiritual enough, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is the real world, and I'm doing the best that I can, being a spiritual being, having a temporary human experience. So don't let that toxic spirituality make you think that you're not connected to the higher power or whatever, just because you change your mind on something. All right? Okay. I hope that helped. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.